A really tentative each way bet here on horse number 2, Catch a Wave.
Right, Tim, it's funny, I gave Catch a Wave probably a better chance at longer odds with Leap to Fame in the race because the way the race might be run. I think Catch a Wave is a much better sit sprinter. I don't like it when he's used up out of the gate. I think he's far better. His point-to-point speed is absolutely brilliant, and he's very good after a 7-day backup. So I don't really want to see him come out of the gate, but of course, in order for that to happen, he could get shuffled back with all the runs that come around the field. So he's going to need a little bit of luck. I did put him on top Catch a Wave. I think he can, even if he does get shuffled back, if he was 3 wide with cover or 3 wide, 2 back, he can still finish over the top because he's at his peak right now. Having that run 7 days before really suits him. So if he led, I don't know. I think he might just use up too much petrol in the early part. I think it's been proven in a lot of his big wins that he can come from off the speed. There's a few that fit into that category. Mac Dan's got the barrier draw to be effective. He's got gate speed, but he's also a very good peg horse. With that in mind, Major Moth, who's drawn inside of the back row, he's sure to get a really good run, whether it's behind the leader or 3 back the inside. So he comes right into the equation. And I think Swayze's the horse that's most capable of making his own luck to go around them and still be a winning chance. He's the favourite in the race, but he's probably going to get out just a little bit. So they're my top 4, but Better Eclipse is the other one I wanted to put into the mix as well. It could be a race where we see plenty of moves. I'm not sure it'll be the last man standing type of race. Last year's race was just extraordinary, Ryan. Unbelievable. You could throw a blanket over them, and Act Now at 80-1 just pipped Catch a Wave and Leap to Fame. And while as a race call, I don't really want it to end up that way. If it does, so be it. But I think it's the sort of race shape that might lend itself to being as exciting as last year. But the 2's my top pick, Catch a Wave.
6 metres between the entire field, Dan, and I think you correctly called them across the line in order. You were that good. Good luck calling again tonight, Dan. What a special race it is upon us. 3 minutes of betting time remaining, so instead of getting our thoughts runner by runner, let's just give our overview of the Victoria Cup, sponsored by Sportsbet, over the 2,240 metres, celebrating 50 years of immortality. Bronte Neuenberg, your thoughts?
So I'm looking at Mac Dan here, barrier 1. This horse has, when he's led, he has won. I think that he is a horse that will prefer to be on front. He's not going to want to cop too much pressure. I think the horse that James would want to hand up to on the front line is Better Eclipse. In saying that, District Attorney, he could be the fly in the ointment here because it does have the best gate speed in the front row, and maybe Jason Grimson might not want all of his runners in the back of the field. So talking about Jason Grimson, at the end of the day, I can't look past Leap to Fame's brother, Swayze. I have him on top. He's a versatile horse. He'll get put into the race, and I just think he's just an hair too good for these. I have him on top, but Mac Dan, I have him for second. He's either going to be in front or behind the leader. Catch a Wave, he's an interesting runner. He doesn't have enough gate speed to cross Mac Dan, but he definitely can win. If he's flashing home like he did last year, I think he could win. He doesn't have to run past a horse like Leap to Fame. And I have last year's winner, Act Now, in for fourth, number 5. He's an exciting horse, and I didn't have him. I had him tipped for last year, and I was full, so I'm not putting him out of my numbers this time. So what about you, Mick?
I think it's one of the most even Grand Circuit races I've seen in the last decade, because often in harness racing there are 3 or 4 winning chances, or 3 or 4 horses that you want to bet. But any horse in this race could win and I wouldn't be stunned. It's just that even. So the horses who are proven to try and do what we can do now, and Act Now is one of them, but he's fresh up tonight, so I'm willing to discount his chances. Catch a Wave's won major races. Miracle Miles, he's gone across and won a Nullarbor WA Cup. Swayze's won a New Zealand Cup and a Blacks of Fake. We know they can do this. Most of the rest of these, we don't know they can do it, with the exception of Better Eclipse. And I think he's the best value in the race, because for a horse who's won an Auckland Cup, he's $11. So, look, so much is going to depend on who wants to play, what ducks and drakes and hand up to who and all that type of stuff. But for what it's worth, I can make a case for Better Eclipse each way at the market, over Catch a Wave, Swayze and Major Moth, who could sit 3 fence. But Ryan, I wouldn't have seen 3 Grand Circuit races this even in the last decade.
No, I completely agree with you, Mick. And since Leap to Fame's come out, it's changed the complexity of this race so dramatically. For example, I had Swayze in for 4th. Well, now I've promoted him to 1st. And the way the race sets up in my mind, Mac Dan's the fastest horse off the race, off the arm. So he's the one that's got options. I don't think Catch a Wave gets involved based on what we saw last week. I think Act Now has a look. I think Better Eclipse is balanced out. The horse that I think flies the gate from out wide will be District Attorney. Then is what's going to be interesting is what James Herbertson does on MacDan. It's interesting that he's been supported, MacDan, in this race. I think you've always got to play pegs as far as these races are concerned, because they run so fast. Obviously, the shortest way home is the way to play, but I want to be with the toughest horse, and I think that toughness is with Swayze. And then I want to look to a big game player, and I think that's Catch Away. For me, they're the two that I'm looking at as the main two as far as winning this Sportsbet Victoria Cup. Looks like they're going to run a little bit late here, Josh Jenkins, as we come to you. So you might have a little bit of time up your sleeve. What are punters doing, and what are you doing here for the big one tonight, the Sportsbet Victoria Cup?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. It looks like the map is revealing itself in the market here. So MacDan has been $4 or as short as $4, just back to $4.40, which means Major Moth is the horse that's certainly coming into calculations, more so from a winning perspective. If that horse is behind the leader, it becomes one of the best winning chances in the race. Believe it or not, MacDan $4.40. The big drift has been Swayze, of course, $3.40 out to $4.40. This horse might not even start favourite in this race. I was listening to Mick Guerin, of course. Better Eclipse seems like the forgotten horse, and if there is some speed from inside of him with two or three horses looking for a position, Greg Sugars might be able to just find a position, one out, two back, one out, three back. That might be a nice place for him to be with that horse. He's proven, he's a veteran, he's seasoned. So I reckon Better Eclipse is a nice play each way, but the market's certainly trying to tell us that MacDan is somewhat of a chance to hold up and try and lead all of the way. But as you guys have mentioned, he can hand up and follow the speed there, but he's a very good horse when he's in front. But the only caveat to that is the fact that if he leads MacDan, it brings Major Moth right into the race. So looking forward to the Victoria Cup, the 50th Sportsbet Victoria Cup. Can't wait to see who wins. No leap to fame, but I tell you what, there's 9 or 10 winning chances. Can't wait to see how this one unfolds. Up to Dan Malecki for his call of the Victoria Cup.
Thank you, Josh. They're getting ready. Sportsbet Victoria Cup. Runners are moving up. Start at the top of the straight, 2,240 metres of the Sportsbet Victoria Cup to the winning post in 2 laps. And they're just about set. Swayze, MacDan, Catch a Wave, Major Moth, the top chances. They're the top 4 in the market. They're all set. Ready. Green light is on, they're racing. MacDan from the inside began fast. Off the gate really quickly to challenge in the early part is Act Now. Act Now drew a half length in front of MacDan into the turn, but MacDan's driving through. Act Now, last year's winner at 80 to 1, can't cross. And it's MacDan from barrier 1 going through to hold up. Major Moth tracked it through. It's behind the leader. 3 back the inside, Curly James, and Swayze's off and around them early. From the back row, Swayze is zipping up on the outside now of MacDan as they enter the back straight. It's MacDan from Swayze. Third is Major Moth, and fourth the outside is Act Now. 3 back the inside is Curly James, and then 5 metres away in 6th position is District Attorney as Swayze had a bit of a crack for the lead here. He put his neck in front of MacDan. He's still pushing on with it. Lead time pretty quick. It was 43.3, and they're well strung out. Swayze 2 metres in front of MacDan. He might get to the front now, Swayze, and he presses on and crosses. It's Swayze from MacDan. Major Moth 3 back the inside. Act Now without cover 4th. Then Curly James the inside of District Attorney. 5 metres Catch a Wave. About 7 metres away Max Delight. A winner of this race 3 years ago. Better Eclipse is over on the pegs. And they were followed by Perfect Class, Narano and Captain Ravishing last. It's Swayze. 27.9 was that first quarter. He's the older half-brother to Leap to Fame. And it's Swayze 5 metres in front of MacDan as they head out of the straight. In third position, 3 back along the pegs, Major Moth. Act Now the outside 4th has had a tough run. Next the inside is Curly James, and then came District Attorney. Catch a Wave coming out 3 wide, but flushes out District Attorney ahead of it. 1 off the pegs is Better Eclipse. Macca out 3 wide is Max Delight. Then Perfect Class, Narano and Captain Ravishing at the tail of the field. 29.3 the second quarter, and Swayze in front down the back in the Sportsbet Victoria Cup. It's Swayze 5 metres clear. Second is MacDan. Then came Mac Now. Catch a Wave off the track, running on. 3 back the inside, Major Moth. And they were followed by Max Delight. Off the back, Swayze 5 metres clear. MacDan's right there to challenge. 3 back the inside, Major Moth. Third quarter, 27.6. It's Swayze 5 metres, MacDan. Then came Major Moth. Catch a Wave wider. Max Delight runs on. It's Swayze 3 metres in front of MacDan. Swayze going strongly. What a run this has been. Flashing through late is Curly James, but it's Swayze. What a win. Swayze has won it and won it brilliantly. Getting through to second was Curly James. MacDan has battled on well to just hold third. Max Delight has run a ripper into fourth, and they were followed by Major Moth, Narano, further back Better Eclipse, Catch a Wave, Captain Ravishing, Perfect Class, Act Now, and District Attorney. Final quarter 27.4. The mile rate was 151.84.
Goodness me. Well, the Sportsbet Victoria Cup has thrown up a race and a performance for the ages. Swayze, well, no leap to fame. That's the older half-brother to leap to fame, and what a performance that was tonight. A quick lead time of 43.3, 27.8 the first quarter, 29.3 home in 27.6. Goodness me, 151.8. That's 4/10 of... outside of the race record, and only 0.7 outside of the Captain Ravishing track record, and Swayze has just pulled away from them. Jason Grimson, it's a 1-2 for him. We've seen him have such a terrific strike rate in these big races, Michael Guerin, here at Melton Entertainment Park, and he was very bullish about the chances of Swayze, and so too was Cameron Hart. That was an aggressive drive. He drove him like the best horse in the race, and he was.
The best stayer in the race too. He put it to the leader, knowing that they're probably reluctant to get too involved on Mark Dan in a speed duel. They tried for 200, but that's not his cup of tea, and it eventually meant that he couldn't hold on. But once this horse rolled to the front, Cam just kept on going. He is a New Zealand Cup winner of 11 months ago. He is a horse who's beaten Leap to Fame, his brother or half-brother, before. So once he came out, I suppose he was technically the best horse in the race. He's actually on a bizarre country cups program. The Carnival of Cups in New South Wales has $1 million bonus if one horse can win all 5 of them. He's won the first, so he may actually end up trying to go around the country circuit, even though, Ryan, he's probably the second best horse in Australia.
Well, it didn't look that way tonight, did he? Jason Grimson, for a young man in this game, he's achieved so much. I'm pretty sure that's his 11th Group 1 if we counter in the New Zealand Cup. Tim O'Connor, for Jason Grimson, he's building quite a record, isn't he?
He is indeed. He's a very popular man down here. I am joined by Jason Grimson. I can tell the adrenaline's pumping through the veins, Jason. Just tell us your emotions. What a win by Swayze.
Yeah, it's really good. I really love the horse, and he just turns up when he needs to. And yeah, he doesn't stop running, does he?
No, he doesn't. Look at these times. I mean, 151.8. He's had to do it from the back row. Did you think he was capable of doing something like that?
Yeah, definitely. That's the way I told Cam to drive him. I've said all week, this is the best I've ever had him leading into this race, and he proved that tonight. He wasn't stopping.
No leap to fame in the race. I get the feeling how confident you were that you mightn't have worried if he was here. You were really confident in Swayze's ability tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I know through Queensland he just wasn't 100%. He was building back to his best, but tonight I know I had him spot on, and he showed it on the track.
What's it like to win a Sportsbet Victoria Cup? You've won heaps and heaps of big races, including the New Zealand Cup with this fella out on the track. What does it mean to you as a trainer, and to win it with all these great friends of yours here behind?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Never in my lifetime I thought I'd be out here winning Victoria Cups and that. But yeah, I'm glad I have my friends here with me tonight, and hopefully we celebrate hard.
Well, I was going to ask you, what does the celebration include for you? No doubt a Crown Casino trip, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, we'll probably be getting the penthouse there.
Well done, Jason. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Ryan, I might go down and try and find Cameron Hart. I'll throw back to you guys in the studio, but a very, very happy Jason Grimson with, I don't know who they are, but they're a lot of supporters of his. It's wild scenes down here on the lawn.
Factor in that he's trained the Quinella as well, Tim. Curly James, there's the Curly James connections. The Shepparton Cup winner was the first emergency. The Laker family would be absolutely delighted with what they've seen there, but that win by Swayze really was a breathtaking performance. He's back, Michael Guerin, particularly when you consider he's got a New Zealand Cup in mind.
Well, I think it makes the competition for Australian Broodmare of the Year probably the biggest certainty of the absolute season. Leap to Fame's mother has now left the horse who's won the New Zealand Cup and the Victoria Cup as well. So, yeah, fascinating story, because the question is now, will he go? He's not going to the New Zealand Cup. Will he go?
Oh, he's not. Sorry. No. Swayze's not going.
Well, they were saying they're not going.
Oh, right, okay.
So, but then the question is, does he go to the Inter-Dominion? Of course you think he goes to the Inter-Dominion, but as mentioned, he is chasing a very special bonus. He's won one. He's the only horse who can win the Carnival of Cups $1 million bonus, which will be the biggest bonus in the history of harness racing, if he wins 4 races, which he would go around $1.20 in all 4 of them. So that's their aim, and the question is, are they willing to sacrifice their chance at $1 million to win an Inter-Dominion, which the winning stake's about 260? That's going to be crucial, and that may well be determined, guys. May well be determined by what Leap to Fame does. If Leap to Fame's at the Inter-Dominion, they might say, hey, let's stay away from him and just win $1 million mucking around in the provincials in New South Wales. All
right, well, the sports bet caps are being worn down there by Jason Grimson and the Connections. Thank you to their support, and goodness me, wouldn't they be absolutely delighted coming on board for this edition. It was just a ripper performance by that horse there in Swayze. Let's go back down to Tim O'Connor. I'm sure he's going to catch.
Thanks, Ryan. Cam, if we can just turn to the cameras here. You're holding a Sportsbet Victoria Cup in your hand. How does it feel?
Unbelievable, especially after that performance. It's very strong sectionals, but Jay said that he was as good as he's ever been, and I just probably took confidence out of the battles that he and Leap to Fame have had before, where they've run the arms off the clock. So, with him not here tonight, I thought I'd drive him like the best horse, and he certainly was.
I'm sure you got a glance of the sectionals, or you might have heard Dan Malecki say it in the call. Was there any part of you thinking, oh, hang on a minute, I might have gone too hard here?
Not really. Like, once he gets in that gear, he can just sustain it, and he feels comfortable doing it. I've driven him that many times. I know the horse really well, and, I know he'll keep digging in. And, it's just a huge performance. Like, to see that time, you think it'd be unbelievable and nothing could do it. But, he's definitely a different horse, this one.
Talk to us about Jason Grimson, a great friend of yours. You've known him for a very long time. I know Master Horseman gets thrown around a lot and pretty easily, but he genuinely is a Master Horseman, Jason.
Yeah, he is. He's unbelievable. I've been lucky enough to work closely with Jason probably the last 3 years as his driver, and being mates with him, I've just been around the barn and things at different times, and he is unbelievable with him. He's a great horseman, and it's definitely extra special to do it with him.
Is there any insights you can give us about why he's so good? Is it his caring nature for them, or is it, I'm not a horseman at all, but can you tell us or try and give us an insight into why he's so good?
Just patience with the horses, and he can just really work out what each horse and each individual really likes, and he's not afraid to think out of the box. Like some of the things that we have conversations about with little things changing, different gear or different work or this and that, he's just always thinking and trying to improve. I think that's the main thing, and it's put him in good stead to train all these great horses.
Let the celebrations start, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely be at probably the Crown Casino tonight for anyone that wants to come out and have a beer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cam Hart there, winning driver of Swayze, trained by Jason Grimson, who's just to his right here, holding the Sportsbet Victoria Cup. I don't know how many drinks they could fit in that one, Ryan, but I'm tipping a few.
I reckon they'll give it a red-hot crack to get a number of them in there, Tim O'Connor. Thank you very much, and congratulations to trainer Jason Grimson and also Cam Hart with that win of Swayze in the Sportsbet Victoria Cup. We will take a